Yep, this is one of our community picks. You know what it kind of reminds me of is those magic posters where you would have to kind of like relax your eyes and stare at them and like an image would jump out at you. That's exactly what I get too. So there's this really interesting anthropomorphic elements, like there's some bodily elements of this work. But even though it is not figural, there is not a figure in this work. It's not a picture of a person, but it has a lot of those elements. Thinking about that, I wanted to see that alongside the Willem de Kooning's Woman 2. Willem de Kooning is kind of like one of the better known abstract expressionists, although far less known than Jackson Pollock. And he did this series, Woman series, in the 1950s. It was a bit of a break from abstract expressionism as it was in its kind of pure form in the 1940s, where there weren't any figural representations. This series was a little bit controversial because of that. Some people thought it was de Kooning breaking away from that kind of traditional no figures, everything just like lines and forms, but no depictions of people or anything like that. It was also a little bit controversial for misogynistic purposes. All of the women in his Women series pretty grotesque. Sometimes they look really menacing, and so people were also calling him out because of that. But this Ethereal 676, because of all of these like embodied elements that pop up, but not in ways that really strike you as a whole person, it really reminded me of Willem de Kooning and kind of his strange eyes that the women always have. This is kind of where my mind was going. The whole series is paintings of women that are obviously not naturalistic in any sense. They're abstracted. You can kind of think a little bit of Picasso and some of the Picassos we saw earlier, where the faces are a little distorted, the bodies are a little distorted, but they're still recognizable. What I appreciate about it is the colors. I think the colors are fantastic. I also find it really fascinating that it almost to me looks like feathers, especially on the like left-hand side. There's some sort of like decorative element that is really cool looking.